In this video, we'll dive into the synthesizers that shaped influential acts and made their mark on industrial music history. The Moog Prodigy, produced between '79 and '84, was an entry-level monophonic synthesizer. It was designed as an affordable dual oscillator synth. While Bob Moog wasn't directly involved in its creation, the Prodigy's simple yet effective design quickly gained popularity. Its impact on music production is undeniable. Fun fact, the Prodigy inspired the name of the British electronic band The Prodigy. Liam Howlett incorporated the synthesizer into some of his early '90s tracks. The Prodigy also found its way into the hands of some notable artists such as Richard from Rammstein, because he was a fan of the band. The Prodigy, the band, not the synth. And also Trent Reznor of Nine Inch Nails. In fact, the Moog Prodigy was Trent Reznor's first proper synthesizer. In an interview with Moog, he openly expressed his love for the Moog Prodigy, the synth, not the band this time.
The first synth I ever got, and that was the greatest day of my life at the time, was the Moog Prodigy. It was pretty new. There was a music store in Youngstown, Ohio, New York Music, and through begging and chore doing, my grandparents bought that synth for me. And that was really the huge turning point.
It was one of the cheaper models that Moog made at the time, about $600, which is roughly about $2,000 in today's money. He even used it in the creation of their first album, Pretty Hate Machine, and even met Bob Moog at a show during the early years of Nine Inch Nails. Produced between '78 and '81, the Multimoog was the big brother of the Micromoog. It's basically a Micromoog circuit board with some extra features added on another board. It was designed to be a cheaper alternative to the Minimoog, but ended up having some cool advanced features. Back in 1980, the Multimoog was selling for $1,500, which is roughly $5,000 in today's money. Pretty much what it goes for on Reverb.com. The Multimoog was used by many artists, but it's best known as being Skinny Puppy's Kevin Key's first synth. That's right, the Multimoog is directly responsible for, in my book, the best industrial band of all time. First keyboard was a Moog Multimoog analog synth pre-MIDI. I got it about 1982 and still have it. I had a Roland TR-808 before that and Pollard synth drums, so it wasn't my first piece of gear. He mainly used it live for the noisier sections, but it also featured heavily on their early '80s material. Specifically, it was used on tracks like The Mourn and Draining Faces to create those deep, low-end subharmonic sounds. The Arp Omni was a polyphonic analog synthesizer made by Arp Instruments between '75 and '77. It had three main sections: strings, synthesizer, and bass synth. Back in the day, it was super popular because it was one of the first polyphonic synthesizer available. In '78, Arp released a second version called the Omni 2. The Arp Omni was used by Tangerine Dream, Kraftwerk, and also Ministry. It was actually Al Jourgensen's first synth. In '81, Al Jourgensen was living in Chicago. He started making music with an Arp Omni synthesizer, a drum machine, and a reel-to-reel tape recorder. And with that, he recorded a bunch of demos. One of them, called I'm Falling, caught the ear of Jim Nash from Wax Trax Records. Nash saw something in Al's sound and offered to help him record the song professionally and put together a live band. Al named the band Ministry, and that's how it all started. Ministry's debut album came out in '83, and they'd go on to be one of the most influential industrial bands of all time. Released in '75 and produced until '79, the Roland System 100 is a classic synthesizer. It's a semi-modular monophonic synthesizer made up of 5 key components: the synthesizer 101, expander 102, mixer 103, sequencer 104, and monitor speakers 109. The synthesizer 101 is the heart of the machine. When it first hit the market, the System 100 sold for $2,400, equivalent to about $10,000 today. The System 101 was also the very first synth owned by Daniel B. of Front 242. In an interview with Stereoclang, Daniel shared that actually his first synthesizer was a Roland System 101 back in the 70s. Things like the Fairlight was far too expensive, but the fact that Daniel got a job in a music shop allowed him to explore a lot of the new gear that came about. They also used it on their first album, Geography, or should I say Géographie in French, alongside Roland's System 100M, a Yamaha CS40M, and also CS15.
From body to body, from body to body, from body to body, from body to body, from body to body.
This synth hardly needs an introduction. The Minimoog is easily one of the most iconic synths ever made. First built by Moog between 1970 and 1981, it was designed as a more affordable, portable alternative to the massive modular Moog synthesizer. Fun fact, it was actually the first synth you could buy in a retail store. In 2002, Moog regained the rights to the Moog brand and launched the Minimoog Voyager, a modern take on a classic. Then in 2016 and again in 2022, Moog Music dropped updated versions of the classic Minimoog, keeping its legacy alive. The Minimoog has been a go-to for everyone from Kraftwerk and Gary Newman to Skinny Puppy, 9 Inch Nails, and Frontline Assembly. In fact, the Minimoog was Bill Leeb's first experience on a synthesizer. Back then, he bought it for $700. It even made its mark on Frontline Assembly's album, which I love, Caustic Grip. Caustic was a pretty minimal setup. All we used was an Atari, an Akai S1000 and S950, a Minimoog, Micromoog, Pro 1 and a Kawai K4 4-strings. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to check out my website for synth presets, samples, and also contact instruments. And also my Patreon for MIDI files, audio files, Cubase templates, private chat, sound design videos, and also discounts on Tone Pusher Store. Thanks for watching. Stay industrial. Ciao.